Welcome to part 2 of the Lionel Vulcan switcher project. Kind of custom Restomod. Not really Restomod, like the opposite of Restomod. It's going to look a lot more modern and work the same way. Anyway, when we left, I was going to paint the shell. For that I used this Rust-Oleum kind of gunmetal metal fleck enamel paint. It's an aerosol can. Some people don't really believe in that, but I think that the results probably speak for themselves. Looks good. And the window stanchions here don't look too wooden. I'm not too concerned about that. So yeah. The Rust-Oleum aerosol paints do a really good job at evening themselves out, so it's easy to paint and get into nooks and crannies, like right there. You have to get the can kind of close, but if you put it on a little thick over here and a little thin there, it'll even itself out when it dries. So, yeah, that's looking good. I also painted the handrails white. Kind of the same idea. Rust-Oleum enamel. Of course, I made myself this little jig out of cardboard and balsa wood. The handrails are just hot glued to those balsa wood posts, so they're going to come off nice and easy. Paint's still a little wet, so I'm being real careful with it, but yeah. I also drilled out the holes in the bottom of the handrails a little bit, because I'm not going to re-rivet them. I'm going to put them back on these screws. Pretty common Lionel screws. They're actually very similar to the ones that hold the body of this engine on the chassis. Same thread, I think. I'm just going to allow these to kind of self-tap into the plastic shell. And I'm not going to use nuts or anything. So, also, as far as the rear handrails go, one was broken when it arrived. That's the bottom, the base for it. The other one I managed to break when I was trying to drill the rivet out, because it was kind of just hanging on by a thread. So I may decide to make new ones from wire, or I might just leave them off. I haven't really decided yet. Alright, and that's what it looks like, all put together. Screws work pretty well. Just sort of by chance they were the right size. Running a coarse screw into a plastic hole that isn't threaded is always kind of risky, but I'm not too worried about it. If the screws had been a little bigger, I would have taken a drill and widened out the holes in the plastic. Easy enough. So another thing that I'm tempted to do, these just kind of lift up and forwards. I think I might mask this off and just paint that grab iron white, so that it kind of brings the color scheme of the whole unit around. Probably do that. Put the other one off here. I'll show you how they're assembled. There are these two knobs there. And you just kind of lift them off like that. Easy enough. Alright, so here's my masking job on these front steps and pilots. That's what one looked like after the tape came off. Came out pretty good. There they are installed. Looks pretty good. Alright, so we need to address a problem. These window stanchions are still really delicate, and they're just going to break right out again as I handle this thing and play with it. So, I have some clear plastic sheet, bottle of regular cracked glue that's not going to melt the plastic. So I'm going to cut cellophane windows for this model. Glue them behind so that if it gets hit, it won't break that stanchion out again. Alright, there's the window installed there. Pretty easy. Just cut them out a little bigger than they need to be and use that Elmer's glue. The shell kind of recedes away from the windows here, that's why they're not quite flush, but looks pretty good from outside, so happy with that. And I would like to correct a mistake I made in part 1. When I was taking this bell out, I mentioned that it's plastic. It is not. It's some kind of cast metal, probably Mazak, I would imagine. But of course the casting would have been silver, so they painted it with that really crummy gold paint. And it pretty much just looks like an ordinary plastic bell, but at least it means it's a little stronger and it's not gonna break off. Alright, so this engine did not have a headlight, so in the interest of reducing waste and recycling, I made a little bracket out of the broken rear handrail, hot glued that little LED, and the ground strap goes here to the screw on the E-unit bracket, and it's got power from the E-unit, from that red wire goes around that side. So it just kind of points up at the headlight lens. Sometimes I'll actually glue the light into the headlight lens, like that. But then when you take the shell off, you have to take the light out, and it's kind of a pain, so I decided to do this one this way. Put the bell and the headlights back in. The lenses, anyway. I think it's time to take this over to the track and run it. Alright, so first things first, I wanted to show you the light so we can see how that looks. And it looks pretty good. It's, like I said, it's just kind of pointed roughly at the lens, and it sort of makes the lens glow very nicely. Alright, well, I'm going to be quiet for a little while and let the train run, so enjoy. Alright, well, I would call that done. And by done, of course, I just mean that it's in a state where I will run it on my layout and enjoy it, and it doesn't seem incomplete. It's not a guarantee that I won't decide to do more or change some things on it later, but, you know, for now, I think that's as far as I want to go with it, so, yeah, I'm happy with it. Anyway, subscribe for more fun train stuff, and, yeah, thanks for watching.